Once in a generation, there come along men of such genius.
It was on the tip of everyone's tongue. Tyler and I just gave it a name.
Of such character.
You are a disgusting slob!
That they fundamentally change society for the better. These are not those men. Ty and Slob, now in syndication.
Technical difficulties.
All right.
Do that. Do that thing where you say 3, 2, and then don't say the 1, and then point at us like we're live.
Yeah. You didn't say the 2. Yeah. Say 3.
2.
And we're syndicating yet again.
We are.
We're back.
What an excellent ad lib line.
I know. I totally didn't script that before the show.
Where you came up
at
with.
all.
This definitely isn't our second take doing the first 5 seconds of our podcast.
Thanks, Fowler.
Yeah.
Jesus, we wanted you to go 3, 2, 1, and not say the 1. It's just 3, 2, and then we know to go. But no, you want to dick around, not take it seriously. We had 25 YouTube views yesterday. We're blowing up.
You know, the truth about the CIA wiretapping will never be exposed if the people are just going to put their heads in the sand. I mean, we have the smoking gun footage, and we are going to be revealing it at the top of the hour because these are precisely hour-long shows because we are in syndication, and this is a legit operation.
It is.
Not winging it at all.
Well, it's bottom of the hour. Top of the hour would be now. We're not going to release it now. Do it at the bottom of the hour. Get it?
I got to tell you, every time they say top or bottom of the hour on the radio, I have no fucking idea what they're talking about.
It's like baseball. Top of the 9th, bottom of the 9th.
I don't think of time as being stacked vertically.
Look, but you don't... Okay, right now we're at the top of the hour. This is now, top of the hour. Bottom of the hour would be at the end of the show. That's bottom of the hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, at the bottom of the hour, we have exclusive leaked security, surveillance, FBI, CIA.
Yes.
What's the precise
it's
phraseology?
FBI, CIA wiretapping Donald Trump. All right, he accused them of doing it, and we now have the smoking gun of them doing it.
Smoking gun.
It's total proof.
Still smoke coming out of the barrel.
It happened. Okay.
Yeah. So
we know what happened. Also, coming up on this episode of Ty and Slob Now in Syndication is Mansplaining. Our first debut segment of Mansplaining as we explore the Women's March and how effective it was. And we're just going to look at how the world just stood still and was greatly affected by this great congregation of like-minded people really just coming together and for a good cause.
Wow, so I guess you fumbled the teaser for the Women's Day as bad as I fumbled the teaser for the CIA. Can we blame that on Fowler?
Yeah, blame it Fowler. What's wrong
Fowler.
with it? What's wrong? What was I not supposed to talk about the Women's March?
It's just we both kind of stumbled through that.
No.
I think I did fine. Finest hour. I don't know how we ever got syndicated.
I think we did
with this level of professionalism.
I think we did fine.
What's it say here on our notes?
Look, I believe in you.
That we don't need.
We covered both. We covered both pre-sales of the show, Mansplaining, Women's March, and the secret leaked footage of CIA's FBI wiretapping. A joint surveillance, by the way, that doesn't happen often. Having a joint surveillance of CIA and FBI coming together, it's a beautiful thing, folks, and you're gonna love it.
It's a big deal.
It's gonna be huge. We'll be right back.
Wait. What is this? What? We're not going to opening banter?
Wait, we are in opening banter.
That wasn't banter. We're supposed to talk about what's going on in our lives. You have a distinct bullet point right here.
I got it.
What's going on in our lives?
It's right there. Got it.
All right.
Opening banter. So I golfed today.
Yeah, while we were ripping video off of YouTube for the purposes of this podcast, you were golfing.
Played 18 holes
and
today.
And by ripping video, I do not mean ripping video off of the $1,500 computer we have. I mean ripping video off of the $200 piece of, I guess, archaeology.
When that laptop was, when my MacBook was brand new, it was also about 15. When it was brand new.
You were also about 15 when that thing was brand new.
I would say more about 20. That laptop's maybe about 7 or 8 years old.
I actually saw that laptop on Antiques Roadshow, and it's increased in value quite a bit recently. You'd be surprised how much collectors will pay for Gen 1 MacBooks.
Wrong.
So
replace.
So maybe you'd like to explain to the listeners the process of taking all of this glorious footage off of our T5i cameras and how it ends up on YouTube.
Well, what we have to do is take the audio and mix it with the video through our computer, and then have to render it there and then put it onto a flash drive or external hard drive, take it to my laptop, which is plugged in hardline into our modem, and we have to upload it that way. That's it. But the only
he means me and Fowler. He actually goes and golfs while we're doing this. It's typically
I golf today.
What is the logic? Why don't we have internet out here?
I golf once a week. First of all, I'm getting my golf game in. Regardless, I'm out here every other day, but I get my golf game. And the reason why we don't have internet out here is because it's going to affect. It's too much money. I don't want to pay for it.
Oh, you spend all your money on golf. How much did your golf cost today? How much does that run for the beer and the hot dogs?
Well, I didn't buy a hot dog. I didn't buy a hot dog this time. About $25.
All right, so that's $100 a month by his conservative estimation of 4 times a month. You've been known to go twice a week, quite frankly. I'd say it's more like
once
6 times a month.
False.
More like 6 times a month.
That is fake
I
news.
also think that $25 is a very conservative estimate. So you have a $150 golf budget, and yet I'm schlepping thumb drives back and forth from the house so that I can render audio and video on one computer and actually upload it.
I'm so glad you figured it out.
Ancient piece of technology that I guess you unearthed in a dig site somewhere.
I'm glad you guys figured it out. Good job. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. You guys are coming along nicely here at Pragmatic Media. So just keep up the good work, guys.
All right. So I think that sufficiently covers what's going on in our lives.
You didn't say anything what's going on in your life.
That's what's going on in my life is I'm ripping videos while you're golfing. That's my life.
Okay. Just didn't seem that exciting.
No, not as exciting as golfing. Certainly.
I mean, I didn't shoot a great game, but it was beautiful out there today.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. I barely needed the air conditioner in the studio that I was working in.
I know. Well, I'm glad you guys blew each other here in the studio and had fun while I was out on the golf course. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to come right back and get to mansplaining and the Women's March right here on Ty and Slob, now in syndication.
Win or lose, everybody deserves a trophy. At Every Kid Win a Trophy shop, we have a wide variety of trophies to ensure your child won't feel left out. Everybody's a winner at Every Kid Win a Trophy shop. Did your child strike out at every at-bat in Little League? T-ball? Here's a trophy. Scored a touchdown? For the wrong team? Here's your trophy. Cry after every single game? Yep, here's a trophy. It's our mission to make sure every child grows up with the privileged expectancy to succeed, thereby creating a huge psychological void and irreconcilable insecurities, ensuring your progeny grow up to become gigantic liberal pussies. Every Kid Win a Trophy shop, where even the shittiest child athletes feel like they've accomplished something. Located on the Nana Street, across from the Oak Grove Cemetery, where the hopes of your child going pro came to die.
Welcome back to Ty and Slob, now in syndication, and our segment, Mansplaining. It's I love the logo too, by the way.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Very retro. I love it. It's adorable. We've got to use that. And it was a great job by Fowler with Photoshop. You're fantastic. Thank you, Fowler. Did a fantastic job. But the thousands of women across the United States took the day off on March 8th, on Wednesday.
Maybe even dozens.
Thousands. You think millions would be a story, but
smattering.
Thousands.
A smattering of protesters.
They did this to show their economic value in a move that coincided with International Women's Day. So basically, it was meant to like illustrate, women, the economic power they have, by asking them to stay away from work, avoid spending money, with exceptions if you go to like a small female-owned business, a business owned by a woman.
Oh, there were exceptions.
That's the only exception.
Okay. So like the women's bookstore in Portlandia, that would be inappropriate.
If you wanted a nice book
Women
to
and
read
Women First,
while you're bored to death at these protests, I guess you could call them. If you wanted a book to read, you go to the women's bookstore.
You know, one thing I noticed is whenever you see the videos, there's always dudes milling about the crowd, presumably trolling for Strange.
I thought they were
Am I right?
Trying to pick up chicks?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sup, come here often? Yeah, women's rights,
Dude,
right? Gotcha.
There's so many loose girls at women's rights parades and shit.
That can't be that bad.
It's a great place to get laid.
Really?
But I think it's
tried
sort
it?
of unfair to the women's protesters because they're trying to demonstrate their economic impact.
Yeah.
But if dudes are also taking off work, then we'll really never know. I would presume that most of the economic impact was from the guys who missed work, because they're so much more productive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, any impact that there was economically was probably because of the men who didn't show up to work.
Okay.
I mean, God forbid a couple sandwiches don't get made. I couldn't care less. I actually ordered a Jimmy John's yesterday, and a woman delivered it, and it was quite satisfying.
You did that on Wednesday, on the women's march.
Yes. And I did that today also.
God.
But
I had to make my own sandwich. Thanks.
No, I had a woman make me a sandwich on International Women's Day, and it was delicious.
I bet it was.
It was great.
I bet. Just look at the footage that we have coming up here in a second of just spectacular show outs. I mean, the world stood still. It was amazing. They all stood together in perfect harmony and showed all of us. Now, you know what? I respect the women I work with showed up to work. You know?
Listen,
women that actually showed up to work and didn't use this as a frivolous excuse to take a day off. Like, I'm going to go protest human rights. But you know what? When they did Immigrants Day, when all the immigrants went and had their little protests and took the day off from work, a lot of them got fired. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of women get fired because they took the day off from work. You want to prove something to me? I say, have your little Women's Day and your protest on a Saturday. And then let's see who shows up. But at least
have it on a Saturday, and then who shows up? They're going to show their economic impact by not showing up to work on Saturday.
That's what ruins like the whole thought. Like, we're going to show our economic impact by not showing up to work, by not buying things and doing it on a Wednesday. It's like, no, look, I feel that that's just an excuse to skip work. It just is. It really is. Whether you're a believer in the cause or you're not a believer in the cause, it's an excuse, and it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. You want to stand out there with your fucking glittery sign and try to think that you're going to make change on Women's Day? I respect women. No one respects women as much as I do. Okay,
lots of people respect women more than Tyler.
Believe me, folks.
Approximately 6.9 billion people, I would say, respect women more than Tyler.
Have it on a Saturday. Have it on a Saturday. What? You spend money on Saturdays. Show your economic impact that way by meeting on a Saturday. And
the point was that they don't show up to work to show up there.
I will bet if you watch our video of these marches, you'll see how scarce the attendees were. And you'll see that maybe you get a better impact if you actually have it on a Saturday. But then again, you probably have to take the kids to soccer practice, so you can't make that either. Anyway, rant over.
Okay.
You got to take the kids to soccer practice,
Yeah, it's very much a sort of privileged. Yes, it's all soccer practice.
It's just they got to drive them. It's just it would really take a huge impact on the population and the numbers that would show up.
Yeah, I think the idea that they're not going to spend money for a day is completely asinine. I guess the implication is that there would really be a noticeable difference between 364 days of consumerism as opposed to 365 days of consumerism. But I would estimate they spend the exact same amount of money over the course of the year. I highly doubt there was any huge stock sell-offs.
I get
because women didn't buy stuff for a day.
It makes sense to have the day where you don't spend money. I get that, but
96% of CEOs showed up for work.
Fantastic.
Because only 4% of them were women. So why do you think that is? All right. That's how you get to the top. You don't get to the top by taking a freaking BS holiday to prove how important you are.
And that's what I'm saying. It's a BS holiday. Where's my holiday?
That's why men would never do that, because
you want equal rights. Where's my fucking holiday? I want a fucking holiday. I want to take the day off from work. I got to get up early in the morning.
No one's stopping you. No, we could all organize a men's protest day. The problem is,
but how do you tell your boss? How do you explain your excused absence? And there's like certain companies have rules as to why you're excused for not showing up. Like what's an accepted excused absence? You know, and most companies are like a death of a family. You're pregnant. Your wife's pregnant. You're using one of your vacation days, and that's what I hope most of these women used was one of their vacation.
The point
days.
is, men. Typically, if they want to demonstrate how valuable they are to their employer, they do the opposite of take an unnecessary day of work off. That's like, because we're not idiots. We understand that if you want to prove to your employer how important you can be, the best thing you can do is go to work and not find some bullshit excuse to not show up and basically go to a rock concert and wear a fucking vagina hat.
Who was performing?
What the fuck?
Who was performing?
That was actually the wrong video. It was like Lauryn Hill and shit.
We saw a video where there was actually, like, they had a concert and a stage and all this shit.
That was the last women's march. That was
last
whatever
year?
the hell. No, like in January.
Oh,
because
okay.
apparently women are just going to do this every couple months. They're just all going to take a day off and breastfeed in public and march around with their silly little pussy hats to show us how important they are.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did it once a month. Like, and it's all like that time of the month. Like it's that time of the month and they come with the women's march.
I think the funniest thing is how the entire women's movement has seemed to align itself with like the Muslim community or something.
They're very accepting of the
They'll pepper this in every once in a while, like, oh, we're all Muslim. If they try and make us register as Muslims, we'll all be Muslims. Like, bitch, you would not like being a Muslim at all.
Go to Saudi Arabia and tell me how much you like being a woman. Not only that, Nike came out with a fucking hijab.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey. Nike has a fucking hijab now. Like, they can, like, it's like now you can respect your religion and do sports.
Hey, cash rules everything around me. You know, if Muslims got money, they got that oil money, son. You know, and now they're trying to, like, start eating kale and doing the shit that white people are doing. So they're going to start running in circles at fucking high schools.
Have you seen videos of women taking the hijabs off and burning them? You know?
Yeah.
Like, you see those, and it's like, well, like, cool, good on you, but they still have the thing on their head. It's like, why do you...
What do you mean?
Like it's like a...
There's like a backup hijab?
It's still like a backup.
It's like hijab underwear?
They're just burning the scarf on their head, and they still keep the other thing. And I'm like if you're not allowed.
Well, that's because they're ugly. They're like, they're like
terrible.
The hijab. That's a symbol of my repression.
Fucking terrible.
But this sheet is to keep people from seeing my ugly face.
That's horrible.
Hey, they don't sell a lot of cosmetics in Muslim countries.
Hey man,
all right?
I'm just saying, it's not easy breezy beautiful over there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's.
It's not easy, it's not breezy, and it is most certainly not
beautiful.
No, it is not.
Not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. When we come back, we're going to look into the WikiLeaks Vault7. Stay with us right here at Ty and Slob, now in syndication. The smooth taste of craft beer. There really is nothing like it. But right now, we live in a world full of hate. At the SJW Microaggression Brewery, each handcrafted brew is made fresh for your tastes and ideologies. Like our female pale ale, 23% more for the same price as our much stronger male pale ale. There's also the Obama Dark IPA. The taste is imported, but it's bottled in the USA. Other classic craft beers available here at the SJW Microaggression Brewery include Racial Gender Tolerance IPA, Pumpkin Hops, and Conservative Teardrop Imperial Stout. Also, you can try our Rosa Parks stock, available in the back upon request. The SJW Microaggression Brewery is open to all humans of non-assumed genders. Welcome back, Ty and Slob down in syndication. And first of all, thank you to our great advertisers for sponsoring the show. Every Kid Win a Trophy Shop and the SJW Microaggression Brewery. Great beer. Just thank you all so much for being our great, wonderful, and totally not fake sponsors. We appreciate that. WikiLeaks has published what appear to be thousands of documents that account for the entire hacking capacity of the CIA. That's according to Julian Assange. It's called Vault7, and this dump, although not authenticated by the Associated Press, it's believed to be at least, one of the biggest release of U.S. spy files ever, surpassing that of Edward Snowden. Over 8,000 documents basically explaining that the CIA has a wide range of accessing, I guess, technology. Android, iPhone, Windows, your smart TV. They can take over your car, undetectable assassinations by making your car run off the road. Just the thoughts are endless. And my first reaction to this, Slob, was, are you surprised? Are you surprised? I'm not in any way surprised. The NSA's been doing this. Like, Snowden gave up his shit. They can listen to our phone calls and whatnot. And then this comes out. And it's like, are you in any way surprised that they can do this at all?
I'm a little surprised at the scope of what exactly. Well, the most telling thing.
You have tape on your laptop. On your laptop, you put tape over the webcam. Like, you had to have thought like they're listening or looking in.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And you look like a lunatic when you put tape over it. That little.
I look like a freaking genius now. All right, everybody in America. I'm 10 steps ahead of them. I'm like Dale Gribble. Like, I'm finally vindicated. All right. I wouldn't be surprised if you comb through those leaks closely enough. There's probably like a subsection where they're talking about the people whose minds they can't control because of the tinfoil hats.
Yeah.
And like I would be like surprised. There's people like, told you, bitch. Ha.
Now that like hobo living on the street talking about the end of the world is near with the tinfoil hat and the cardboard sign, they're like, hey, I want to listen to that guy.
Yeah, well,
the guy knows something.
He was most certainly vindicated. I think the scariest part is that what the CIA did was they opened, I guess what are called back doors. I don't know all the hacker terminology. They would open back doors to, Windows, Android, Apple devices, and they would purposefully just leave them open so that any old hacker could just stumble across it and be like, oh, hey, there's a back door here.
What's worse, the fact that the CIA was tapping it, or has the potential to tap in, even though they say it's only for bad guys, just like the Patriot Act and just like, what Edward Snowden released. It's only for looking up bad guys. What's worse, the fact that they were doing that and probably lying about it. They're probably spying on everybody, right? What about the fact that they didn't secure it and it was taken?
That's what I think is the worst part. Is they ended up getting like
now
it's
the
stolen.
bad guys have that fucking technology.
They spent $100 million developing their own custom malware, and it ended up getting stolen. And McAfee, the psychopath who invented a McAfee
he ran as a libertarian,
antivirus,
right? He was running a third party libertarian, I think.
I don't know.
He was.
No, Gary Johnson was a libertarian nominee.
No, but he was he was in a debate with him. He was a libertarian party. McAfee, yeah.
One of the things that he said was that any halfway decent state-sponsored hacking operation has the capability to cover their tracks, so much so that they would never leave their fingerprints. Like, if the Chinese hacked in somewhere, they're not dumb enough to leave behind Chinese encryptions or Chinese fingerprints or whatever. They could easily just use Russian methods and Russian malware and make it look like the Russians did it. And I believe the exact phrasing, I'd love to pull this up when we're playing this. He said something to the effect of, if it looks like Russia did it, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt, Russia had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, because it's not the ability of being able to hack it. It's the ability of hacking it. And instead of leaving your own footprints, you leave the footprints of someone else. It's like if you're wearing a size 7 shoe, you can leave behind a size 9, and everyone will think, well, it was them. It was just so simple. And so we can't automatically think that it's the Russians.
No, you can, as a matter of fact, the opposite is true. You can automatically rule them out because the Russians would never, ever hack something and leave behind their fingerprints. Only someone else would hack using their fingerprints. Like it's universal, and the CIA has the same capacity.
Let's think about this. When we were in college, we were in a fraternity, and if we stole somebody's tailgate letters, okay, we would leave them in the truck bed of somebody that had a fraternity sticker that was from a different fraternity. Right? And so you immediately think when you go and you find your letters in the truck bed of this other fraternity, they were the ones that stole it.
But if you're being logical, you could almost immediately rule them out because you're like, no one would be dumb enough to take their letters.
Dumb enough to do it.
Yeah, basically.
That's wow.
Great analogy, Colin Cowherd.
Thank you.
Use it 9 more times.
I have more analogies. I have so many great analogies.
Just stick with that one.
My references are great. Everyone knows that. That was a great analogy. The files reported to WikiLeaks by a source who concerned that the CIA possibly had too much power. But what about the NSA? They had power too. So,
did you hear about the
League.
the meme war? It was like the meme warfare, the weaponized meme warfare that the CIA and the FBI developed.
Well, they understood the concept of what a meme does and what a meme is and how it explains culture and society. And it's just like two things put together, picture and text, and it explains everything and it has so many different meanings and how they can place these memes. But how do you use a meme in warfare?
That's just to affect public opinion over something. It's like
the CIA is like, cash me outside. How about that, Iran? Like, fucking throw that at them. Like, what's the point of having a meme division?
What if they were responsible for Cash Me Outside? How about that? What if there was some other like leak that was going on or some other big story that they wanted to curtail? And they're like, no,
Cash Me Outside, how about that?
Mr. President, I found this video of a 13-year-old from Dr. Phil like 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure if we chop up the audio just right, we can turn her into the next big thing.
Okay, let's do it.
Pretty much.
I believe in it. Let's do it. How old is she? She's okay, never mind.
Bring her in here. Come and sit on the Trumpster's lap.
So I heard you like to catch people outside. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Do you want to be caught outside?
Fowler, we're going to clean up. We're going to go commercial. Tyler's having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, my hand's swiping.
With this Michelob Ultra.
What? It's a good beer. That's very light, less filling.
There are a lot of words that describe that beer. It's
great taste.
Not one of them.
I like it. No, we're not going to go to commercial. We don't have any commercials because that is the show. Thank you for coming along and sitting through this bullshit. Ty and Slob down in Syndication. We'll be back next time. Thank you.
That's it, all over. No, you can't have that time back in your life. But you spent it well. Thanks for listening to Ty and Slob, now in syndication. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Ty and Slob and like us on Facebook. Go to tyandslob.com for more.
I know a pair of fake titties as soon as I see it. I'll meet a woman, and I know she has fake tits right away. I can tell by the taste. Basically what I'm saying is I will walk up to strangers and suck their nipples. And they'll let me do it, because I'm a celebrity, damn it. Everything in the Don's life is the biggest. Mar-a-Lago, the biggest. I got the biggest hair. I got the biggest hands. And I probably don't need to tell you what else is the biggest, am I right? I'm going to anyway. It's my penis.
Oh, drink.
I based my entire political career on Pink Floyd. All in all, you're just another brick in my big, beautiful border wall. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We don't need no department education. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
You don't need to use it?
Excuse me, Mr. President. North Korea just launched a...
Hold on, busy. Money. It's a gas. Share it, wear it. Keep your hands off of my stash. Not gonna show my income tax return. Have you heard of this thing, the Twitter? It's great because when I'm sad, I could let everyone know I'm sad. Capital A. Wait, how do I keep the cap suck? There's cap suck. Kellyanne, is there a cap suck for the iPhone? No one is as funny as Greg Gutfeld. It's my penis. I don't know what they're talking about. I've never seen a stream in my life. I don't give a damn. Put as much call as you want into it. I'm busy here, all right?
Russia just invaded Crimea again.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means, okay? I'm very busy right now. What was I talking about? Ranch on my well-done prime rib.
TyandSlob.com